Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to you at whatever time you're watching or listening to this. You're listening to the Finance Rebel Show. This is the show where it's all about raising your financial IQ so you can get free and become financially independent. We all know that society wants us all to be average. We all know that society wants us in debt. We all know that society basically wants us to work 50 years, retire, and then die in about 5 years. But there's more to life than that, right? So I tell people they have to rebel. That's why I call myself the finance rebel. Because in order to become independently free, financially free, you got to do something different. You got to do something a little bit different than what society has in store for you. You got to be willing to go against the grain, up the stream. You got to be willing to rebel. All right. So today's topic, just going to be a real quick topic. Oh, but before I forget, if you follow the show all the time and you enjoy the things that I deliver, please share this with somebody else that you know can get some value out of this. Don't share with everybody else, with a whole bunch of people. Don't spam it out, but share with one person you think that can get value from this. All right. Because I don't want to be known as a spam dude online. But today's topic, we're going to talk about being afraid of the IRS can cost you money. All right. So everybody knows I'm an investment and tax advisor, been in the business for over 20 years. Started with my dad, small business owner, small black business owner. I'm second generation. I don't work with my dad, but I work on my own. But I built off of that foundation. So I've been around for a while. Right. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, gave me a call and asked me, should I be saving 10% of my net pay or 10% of my gross pay? And I say gross. Most people do net. But I told him you shouldn't just stop at 10%. You should try to save and invest, right? So when I talk about save, I'm talking about saving and investing, all right? Nobody got rich by saving alone, right? But nobody also got rich by not having any savings. So I told him, I said, you should try to do more. And he says, man, I'm trying to figure out how to reduce my taxes. I'm just getting banged out with taxes. And I know my friend, he also has a business on the side. He actually has a lot of opportunity in front of him right now. But I says, well, why not put it into a retirement account inside of your business? You can establish a retirement account inside of your business. Also, I said, you're also a home-based business as well. Why not take that deduction? Now, just to give you a little bit more background on my friend, he used to do taxes years ago. I can't really speak to how in depth he got into it, but I know he used to prep taxes. So I said, you're a home-based business. Why not write that off as well? And he says, man, home-based businesses generate a lot of audits. I don't have time for the smoke. I've dealt with audit before, and I'm running for cover on that one. And I said, well, as long as it's legit and as long as, you're not doing any funny math, it's not a problem, whether you get audited or not. And he says, man, I'm afraid of that. And he says, these people can really push a button on you and send you away. That's not totally true. There have been several abuses at the IRS, right? Anytime you have people involved in anything, you're going to have people abuse. I don't care if you're black, brown, yellow, or green. I don't care if you're rich or you're poor. People abuse things, systems, and people. Period, point blank. So I said to him, but in actuality, that audit wasn't really that bad. They sent you a letter, you sent back the stuff, and you were kind of done with it. That was more of your anxiety getting to you. That was more of your perceived fear, not even real fear, but your perceived fear getting a hold of you. And, that's why you think that situation was that bad. But when you described it to me previously, it wasn't that bad. But he said, listen, man, I ain't doing it. I can't do it. But I know his rent's high because he lives in a high rent district. And anytime you have home office expenses. So let me back up. Let me explain to you who and what can take a home office expense, because there's a lot of misinformation floating around about home office expenses. So if you run a business and you primarily work out of your home, you can take a home office deduction. What is a home office tax deduction? Home office tax deduction, home office write-off is basically you can write off a portion, not all. You can write off a portion of your mortgage or your rent. You can write off a portion of your utilities. You can write off a portion of, let's say, any insurance you may have on your home, right? You can even write off a portion of maintenance, care given or done around your home. Here's a trick. You should know what portion of your home is designated to be your office space. What portion of your home is designated to be your office space? And usually you need to find out the square footage of that piece of your home. Let's say it's a spare bedroom. And you also need to know what the overall square footage is of your property, dwelling, or your home. You take the two. Let's say you have a 100 square foot property or apartment. Matter of fact, let's say you got a 500 square foot apartment. Let's say one of your bedrooms is 100 square feet. You just divide that 100 into the 500 and you get 20%, right? Because 2 times 5 is 100. All right. So that's the percentage you can write off, roughly 20%. Now that's just an example. That is not, everybody's case. That's just an example. That's a hypothetical example. I've seen people who have bigger office spaces in their home. I've seen people who have literally 500, 600 square feet in their home inside of a 3,000 square foot home, right? So it really ranges, depends on what you do. It depends on what part of your home is also used. Also, if you use your home for storage, that's also part of your office. So let's say you have a designated spot in your basement for storage for your business. It's legitimate. You could also write that off as well. So again, you get to write off mortgage, rent, utilities, insurance, maintenance, things that are, part of your overall living. So you kind of get a twofer. Now, I've seen where people say you can write off your entire mortgage or rent. You can write off your entire utilities. You can write off, your maintenance and cleaning. That's a lie. That's not true. People that are telling you that are truly, truly, truly misinformed. All right. But again, that is something you can legitimately write off on your taxes. And a lot of people don't want to do it because the IRS will audit you. Sometimes they audit higher, sometimes they audit lower. Home office expense is definitely something they look at a little bit more carefully. But again, as long as it's legitimate expenses, you have nothing to worry about. All right, even if you get audited. And guess what? Anybody can get audited. They do random audits. So everybody's name goes in a hat. Your name gets picked out of the hat. You can get an audit. Sometimes audits are done in person. Sometimes they're done in the mail. It just depends on what it is. But audits aren't the worst thing in the world to happen. Audits are really, really easy if you bulletproof your taxes. And how do you bulletproof your taxes? You bulletproof them by, one, using real figures, right? Using real data. Don't make anything up. And actually keep an organized, have an organized record keeping system of that. If you do those two things, you're good. And follow the law. All right. So legitimate, follow the law, have them in order. Nobody wants to go. No auditor wants you to come in there with a bag full of trash, full of receipts. That's not going to be a good time for anybody. All right. Now, tonight, I am doing a Q&A. Any questions you may have. Again, everybody knows that I am an investment and tax advisor. Everybody knows I love the stock market. But in my business, I primarily do a lot of taxes. So you can text me your question for tonight's Q&A and going forward at 484-278-1357. Again, 484-278-1357. And I thank you all for watching the Finance Rebel Show, and I'll see you all during the next broadcast. Have a great night. Bye-bye.